let's everyone, can we rise up to welcome these very honorable guest speakers, our President of Sales, Mr. Danny Bay.
So it's really exciting to be able to do a leadership training for the first time in several months since we started the RIMA Malaysia and Singapore operation. And the fact that all of you that have already qualified as a senior manager and team leader and higher, to RSVP for the event and to be here to spend a couple hours with us on Saturday to learn about leadership. I am really excited about today's event, and I know that if you could really focus and pay attention to all the information that we're going to be sharing with you today at this event, I promise you, every single one of you will leave this training different than the way you came in. I'm a firm believer that having right information and having right instruction and having the right understanding of system and applying is going to save you so much energy, so much time, and give you more results in shorter amount of time than not knowing what you're doing, but just being motivated, but actually wasting a lot of energy. And the purpose of the leadership training is to really provide information with you, just like what Mr. Brian said. We're not before we're in retail or skincare or personal care business, we're in people business. And when you're in people business, the most important thing in people's business is to understand leadership. Because we're working with people, we're not working with robots. Is there like a music somewhere? Do you guys hear music, or am I hearing things myself? I'm like, why am I hearing music right now? If we could have the music turned off, I think it would be great. So we're going to be diving into really talk about leadership conversation here today, and I want to encourage all of you to really take some good notes, and I want you to really think about what it would mean if you could really understand the right leadership strategies and ideas and leadership habits to apply to your RIMA business, and how that will advance and take your business to the next level. Now, many of you I'm meeting for the first time, so I do want to briefly introduce myself. My name is Danny Bay. I live in the United States in a small city called Las Vegas. Anybody been to Las Vegas? Anybody? Okay, anybody want to go to Las Vegas? Anybody didn't raise your hand because you've been there but you have bad memory because you lost too much money last time you go? Anybody? Okay. I was born and raised in Korea, but when I was 14, my family moved to the United States. And I remember growing up in America, the American dream, they called it. Didn't matter the background, doesn't matter culture, language. I was just motivated to find opportunities. And after studying music through a school program, when I was in college, a friend of mine gave me a call and invited me to a business meeting. And that's what started the journey for me of becoming a business person. This is many years ago, 24 and a half years ago, a long time ago. But here's what triggered me. When I first got invited to a business meeting, I was 18 years old, barely spoke any English. I only lived in America for 4 years. I was young, no money, no life or business background. But my friend from school introduced me to a group of business entrepreneurs. They were American entrepreneurs from Beverly Hills, California. They were very successful. Now, they were young. They were 25, 23 years old. But you know how it is. When you're 18, 25 seems old, Like when you're in a high school freshman, senior seems like they're really advanced, more mature than you. So I'm thinking, wow, they're professionals, and they were very rich. They were very wealthy. I never even heard of cars like Lamborghini. But they were 23, 25-year-old driving around in cars I didn't even know how to spell. They were wearing things I've never even heard of. Their watches cost more than my parents' house. I said, these guys are crazy. But most importantly, they were the most kind and respectful and nice people I've ever seen, which was very weird because growing up in Korea, watching Korean drama. Anybody watch Korean drama before? K-drama? Anytime they talked about rich people, they talked about it like they're bad people. They always made it seem like successful people, rich people were rude. They looked down on people. They were mean to normal people. But I met these successful people from Beverly Hills, California, and they were the nicest, most respectful, and kind people I've ever met. And after meeting them, I thought to myself, man, I'll give anything to one day be like those people. Wouldn't you feel that too? Wouldn't you think that too? That's how I felt. And my second thought was, what if I could just get around them? what if I could just get around them and I could learn what they do, and I could learn how they think, and maybe I could learn how they talk, and maybe I could learn some of the skills that they have and do what they do. Maybe one day, not 100%, but maybe one day I could achieve maybe 10% or 20% or half of what they have achieved. That became my goal when I was 18 years old. That's how my entrepreneurship journey started for me. And I went to go work for them. And they were doing online internet. 2001, internet was new. And they were doing sales, they were doing marketing. Anytime there was an opportunity to be in their presence, anytime they were doing a training, anytime they were teaching or coaching or mentoring, I got myself there. It didn't matter if I had to drive 5 hours. It didn't matter if I had to fly 4 hours. I wanted to be there and I wanted to learn. And that's how my whole career started. Fast forward, when I was 22 years old, 4 years later, I got to experience earning my first $1 million in US dollars and became a millionaire when I was 22. Now, many people would say that's crazy, but it was a long 4-year journey. 22 sounds young, but it was long 4 years of hard work. And after that, I spent 20 years as an international business person traveling all over the world. So my first time when my life completely changed by the information I received and people I met was that moment when I was 18 years old. Second time, another chance happened for me, which was a little over 3 years ago. I was the CEO of my own company, operating a couple different businesses, and 3.5 years ago, I got a phone call from Rimon when I was in Korea. I happened to be in Korea. I got to meet our CEO and our chairman, and they told me the story about Rimon. We all know, you guys are all senior managers, team leaders, and higher. I don't have to explain to you the impressive story of what Rimon has done in Korea. Competing with thousands of Korean skincare brands that's been around for 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, they became #1 Korean skincare brand in Korea in first 3 years of time. They did over $2 billion US dollars. That's over 8 billion Malaysian money. Think about that, 8 billion. You know how many zeros are in billion? Like 9 zeros. Like it's 8 Malaysian money, regular money. They did that. They sold that many in just first 4 years. They sold over 40 million bottles. 40 million bottles is more than 1/3 of population of Malaysia. In a country with only 50 million people, Korea population only 50 million people. They just broke every record that anybody's ever seen in the skincare industry, and they said, we now want to bring this overseas. And when they explained the vision of what they wanted to do with the expansion outside of Korea, bringing the company to your beautiful country like Malaysia and Singapore and Taiwan and Hong Kong and United States and Canada and Europe and all throughout the world, when they share that vision, even though I had a path and a career that I was working in, their vision was so much bigger than mine. Their thinking was so much bigger than mine. I thought to myself, if I keep working what I'm doing now for another 5-10 years, I may never achieve. I may never be part of a big vision like what they have for the future. I literally it was my second time in my life where my direction in my life completely changed after one meeting. And I don't know where you are in life, okay? I don't know what your background is. I don't know if you've been with Rimon 1 week, 1 month, or last 4 or 5 months since we started Malaysia. Today is 162nd day since we started Malaysia. It's only been little over 5 months of time. It's a very short amount of time. Rimon is new in Malaysia. We're just getting started in Malaysia. We're just getting started in Singapore. So maybe, I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what your expectation of Rimon is. I don't know what your hopes and dreams and goals are in Rimon is. I could tell you, when I first got introduced to Rimon, I didn't think too big of it until I really caught the vision of our chairman and our CEO and realized that their vision was so much bigger than mine that it completely changed the direction of my life. And I actually walked away from a couple of the businesses that I was involved in. To now, Rimon is the only thing we do. In the last 3 years, it's been the greatest business decision I've ever made. And we had incredible fun doing it in the last 3 years of time. And we started the expansion of Rimon into United States just 2 years and 6 months ago, after half a year of preparation. And can you believe this? We started March of 2023. Mr. Steve Hyun was there since day one. And since the beginning of just introducing few people and sharing the idea and vision, here's the power of what Rimon is doing. in just less than 2.5 years of time, that just started with few people outside of Korea in the United States. Now we have over 650,000 people in our network between the United States, Canada, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, and Mexico. How many of you guys think that's pretty incredible? That's pretty incredible. How many of you would love to be in a position to benefit from 650,000 people in your network in the next 3 years of time? Anybody? Anybody interested in that? Or maybe that as a goal, but do even 10%. How many of you would be like, I'd be happy with 65,000? Anybody be happy with 65,000? But I can tell you, it would have never happened if I didn't catch their vision. It would have never happened if I didn't understood the concepts of leadership that we're going to be talking about right now. Because yes, we have the best skincare product in the world. Yes, we have the greatest compensation out there. But at the end of the day, who uses the skincare product? People do. Who gets to benefit and who gets to build with the compensation plan? People do. It's not the skincare product itself that's going to do everything. It's people that uses our product. It's people that builds our business. It's people that you have to work with. And because of it, leadership. And leadership, good thing about learning leadership, it's not going to just help you in Remon. It's going to help you in everything you do in life. So today, I really want to encourage all of you to really take some good notes. And in just short couple hours of time, I want every single one of you to upgrade your leadership level, upgrade and take yourself and your life and your mind and your thinking to the next level as you dive into this leadership training. So I'm ready to get started. Are you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I do want to recommend two things before we dive into it. Number one, I know that we got like 100-some people here, okay? I recommend that next couple hours, it doesn't matter if I'm the one sharing, Mr. Steve Hyun is sharing, or if other leaders are sharing, I want to encourage every single one of you to focus as if it's just you and the speaker having one-on-one conversation and forget about everybody else in the room. It's so easy to be here and mentally not be here. It's true. You know, a lot of people are like, what is a great, what if you could give me one tip to be successful, what would it be? I tell them what my mentor taught me when I was 20 years old. Wherever you go, be 100% there. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, okay? But I was in Mexico last Saturday, and I was telling them, and a lot of them are like this. You guys know anybody like this? They go to work, but while they're at work, they worry about their kids. When they're with their kids, they worry about work. When they're with family, they worry about their friend's problem. When they're hanging out with their friends, they worry about their money problem. How many of you guys know people like that? Now, I know you're not like that, but people I was with last Saturday in Mexico, they were like that. I'm just kidding. But we all are guilty a little bit that wherever we are, sometimes we're distracted. I want to encourage all of you, just for the next couple hours of time, just this training session, if you think about it, between 2 to 5, the next 2.5 hours of time, it's just barely enough hours, barely enough time to watch one movie. Barely enough time to watch one movie of Mission Impossible. If you could gain information and knowledge that could upgrade your life and upgrade your business, increase your income, just by 100% focusing for a short amount of time, barely enough time to watch one movie, wouldn't it be worth it for you to focus? I can tell you, the next 2 hours is going to go by anyways. Information is going to be shared anyways. Some of you will leave here saying, that information changed my life and you're going to apply it. And because of it, next 90 days, your business is going to be 5 times larger. Some of you, your income is going to be 10 times larger in the next 6 months. But some people are going to sit through, and you're here, but mentally not here. In the next 3 hours, you will leave here going, I heard that before. And you will have no impact from the training. So here's the way I look at it. If you're going to be here, might as well be here. And I want you to forget about everybody else in the room thinking, oh man, I wish she heard that or he heard that. No, I want you to take everything that's being talked about. That's for me. I'm going to apply it. I'm going to make it mine. And I'm going to let it impact me in my business and my life. Can you guys do that for the next couple hours as we spend together? Second thing is, I want to encourage you to engage and have a conversation with the trainer instead of being on listening mode, okay? On our phone, right? It has an airplane mode. You guys know airplane mode? When you're on airplane mode, not much could happen. You gotta not be in an airplane mode. You want to be in an engagement conversation mode. I can tell you right now, I cannot read your mind. I mean, just think about this. If I came up to you and if it's a one-on-one conversation, if I said, how are you? And if you just look at me like this, and don't move, don't say nothing, that's rude. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna work really hard for the next couple hours, and Mr. Steve Hyun and other leaders that may share some thoughts, we're gonna work extremely hard to pour it into you. And I promise you, if you could engage and have a conversation, if I ask a question, engage. Remember, there's only you. It's just you and the trainer. Have a one-on-one conversation instead of being in a listening mode, airplane mode, just sitting there. You're going to get so much more out of it if you could engage in the conversation and actually participate. Does that make sense? So if I ask a question, answer it out loud. It's okay. You're not being rude. Answer it out loud. If you agree, raise your hand, nod your head. I want you to engage with me because I really want you to maximize this time and make everything we talk about yours. Is that fair? Can we do that together?
Yes.
Still about 12 of you looked at me like this. I said, can we do that together? Okay. Maybe some of you is going to take a little more training. But I highly recommend you have a great time, engage, and let's have a conversation. Can we do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, let's get started. Now, can we go to my okay. So now, we want to start off by saying that the first, can we go to my slides? That I was taught from my mentors when I was just getting started in the business that everything rises and falls on leadership. You know, when you're in people business, everything rises and falls on leadership. What does that mean? If things are going well, I can tell you most likely it's because of leadership. If things are not going well, most likely it's because of the leadership. If you want things to get better, I can tell you if you work on leadership, everything will get better. You know, if you have everything going for you, but if you don't have the right leadership mentality and right leadership culture and practices, nothing is going to go well in that environment. So here's what's really exciting about this. If this statement is true, which I believe it is, everything rises and falls on leadership. What should you work on? Leadership. When you work on leadership, when you work on your leadership, everything is going to rise. When my leadership go up, my business is going to go up. I want my income to go up. I work on my leadership. My income is going to go up. I want my momentum to go up. I work on my leadership. My momentum is going to go up. You know, a lot of people. I remember when I was just getting started in the business world, my mentor set me down and he said, "Danny, are you achieving your goals?" I said, "Not yet, sir. Not yet." He said, "Why do you think it is?" And I started giving him a reason. I said, "Well, you know, economy's bad. You know, competition is strong. So many competitions out there." You know, and my parents are not supporting me. You know, my friends are negative about this idea. And I said that right now, the government, you know, the politic is not good. You know, there's a lot of fights. I said, I gave him all these reasons. And he looked at a long list and he said, "Wow, this is an impressive list with a lot of things on it." He said, "Oh, thank you." He said, "But there's one problem with this list." I said, "What is it, sir?" He said, "Your name's not on here." He said, "Let's just say that everything you mentioned here actually changed." He said, "Let's just say there were less competition. Do you really think that's going to give you the results you want and you're going to achieve your goals?" Instead of the president that's in there, in the politic, in the government, if there was a different president, you think your income's going to be different? He said, if your parents were actually supportive, your life, do you think is going to be that much different? If your friends that are doubting you and saying negative comments to you, if they all of a sudden were saying positive comments, do you really think it's going to have that much impact in your income? He said, the reality is, all those situations are going to change all the time, but it will not impact you every single time. But one thing that's guaranteed to have an impact in your life and in your business is when you change, everything will change for you. He said, when you change your leadership, when you change your mindset, he said, under every circumstance, doesn't matter what the situation is, everything will change for you. And he set me down and he said, for things to change, I need to change. And because the reality is, he says, the wind blows on everybody. Things happen to everybody. It's what you do with what happens to you that will determine the outcome of your life, not what happens to you on how it's going to impact your life. I'll give you an example. There were these two twin brothers. They grew up in a family with a father that was alcoholic, and abusive alcoholic father. Father passed away, these brothers grew up, and one of them ended up becoming a very successful businessman, beautiful family with 2 kids, living great life. But the other one ended up not in a very good position, financially struggling, mentally struggling, and he became an alcoholic. The reporter decided to interview because, 2 brothers ended up completely different. So he interviewed the brother that ended up becoming an alcoholic, struggling in life. He asked him the question, how did you end up here? He said, but you don't understand. this is all I knew. My whole life, I grew up in a broken home. My father was alcoholic. He was very abusive. We always had money problem in our family, and everything was a challenge. I never had any opportunities handed to me. Nobody ever gave me an opportunity. And he said, my father was alcoholic and it messed up the whole life. And what did you expect? And they went to interview his other brother. And he asked him the question, how did you end up here in where you are in life? Guess what his answer was? He said, what did you expect? My father was alcoholic. He was abusive. All I saw growing up was alcoholic father, struggling financially in family, and very abusive, and nothing going well. And I made a promise to myself, I will never let that happen to my family. He said, I promised myself I will never be like my father. One brother made it an excuse that that's all he knew. And he just made it an excuse and he kept doing the same thing. While the same exact situation, the other brother said, I saw it and I said, I'm disgusted. I'm not going to let that be me. So same situation. When the economy is bad, some companies thrive. When the economy is bad, some companies go out of business. True or not true? The same thing is always going to be the case in your Riemann business. We all, as a Riemann community, we all will go through the same situation all the time. We all will face same challenges and same situations all the time. And it's your leadership and your mindset that will determine if you're going to overcome it, if you're going to benefit from it, or you're going to be defeated from it. Does that make sense to you? And that's why we're investing your time. That's why we're investing my time, your time. All of us are investing a couple hours together today to work on what? Work on our leadership and our mindset. I just flew in last night around 11 p.m. from Korea. I'll just tell you a little bit about my schedule. We had a convention 2 weekends ago in Las Vegas. You saw a video earlier. If you were here early, we had 4,000 people there. Who was at the Las Vegas convention? I think some of you guys were there. Mr. Steve Young was there. Mr. Jackie was there. Aki was there. Kat was there. It was absolutely incredible. 4,000 people. We will show you the video again in case you didn't see it. We had a life-changing event. After that event, I had an event in Taiwan. So from Las Vegas to Taiwan's fall, 20-hour trip. But I went to Taiwan. We had a team leaders and above. We had almost 400 team leaders and above only, all-day training, all talking about what? Leadership. We focused on leadership. We focused on the improvement of our mind and our thinking and our leadership skills for a full day of leadership training in Taiwan. After that, I flew back to America because we had a convention, well, not a convention, we had a leadership seminar for Friday, Saturday, 2 days in Mexico. Mexico and Malaysia, Singapore is in kind of competition. You didn't know that? I'm going to tell you right now. It's kind of in competition because Malaysia and Singapore opened April 18th and we opened up Mexico April 25th. So we're literally 1 week apart. It's like twin brother. And here's what's really exciting, okay? Malaysia, Singapore is doing great, but Mexico is also doing great. Mexico, we had a Friday, 2 to 6 p.m., half a day, we had a leadership training. What did we talk about? 500 people got together, and we spent 4 hours just talking about leadership. Why? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. On Saturday, we had an open VIP event. We had 1,000 people there, and we had an incredible event in Mexico. If you didn't see the video earlier, we'll play it again later when we're finished, so you can watch it, a highlight video from last Saturday in Mexico. So after that, I went home for 2 days. I have 3 kids. I have to go see my kids. And after that, I flew over to Korea 2 days ago, so we had 2 hours of special leadership training in Korea with a couple hundred leaders in Korea for 2 hours talking about leadership. Why? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. And after that, yesterday, flew 6.5 hours from Korea to Malaysia last night, so we could be here today for a couple hours with you on talking about what? Leadership.Ry? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. After here, I'm flying over to Hong Kong because on the 30th, we have a Hong Kong leadership training event. We're going to be spending a couple hours together with our key leaders of Hong Kong and China that's coming to Hong Kong to talk about what? Leadership. Why? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, if you came here to learn how you could boo and glow better, you don't need my help to do that. I don't need to fly no 20 hours to teach you how to boo better. Just spray. You know what I mean? Just wash your face and just spray, okay? And just put the products on. You don't need my help to do that. But what I could help you with is increasing your leadership, helping you to understand leadership, helping you to grow as a leader, because as soon as your leadership grows, everything in your life is going to grow. And I want you to get excited about you becoming a better leader. I want you to get excited and get passionate about you investing time and energy into you upgrading your leadership. Does that make sense to you? My mentor said, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, your mindset and your leadership, you can make a fortune. Riemann Opportunity is here, and I can tell you right now, there are people in Riemann that only make $1,000 a month, or in Malaysian money, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 Malaysian money a month. But there are people that makes 40,000, 50,000 Malaysian money per month. But there are also people who makes 400,000, 500,000 Malaysian money per month in income. There are people in Riemann that makes over 1 million Malaysian money per month, and they've only been doing this business for less than 2 years of time. How many of you would like to get your income level to there? I could tell you it's same product that they offer. Somebody that makes 1 million Malaysian money per month and somebody that makes 10,000 Malaysian money per month, it's same product, same compensation, same everything. Only thing different is their leadership. Only thing different is their leadership. So we're gonna work on our leadership because I want you to grow, and next 30 days, next 90 days, I want your business and your income to grow at absolutely next level that it's never been. Whatever you've earned in the last 5 months combined, I want it to turn into your monthly income in next 30 to 90 days of time. So we're gonna work on leadership, and we're gonna talk about leadership, okay? We talked about that already. When you grow your leadership, everything grows. Okay, now let's recap Riemann Opportunity. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but it is important to understand and recognize the opportunity we're talking about. Why is Riemann Opportunity special? Well, number one is because of what's happening in K-Beauty, and we have to understand why K-Beauty. Sometimes I travel, not here, but in Mexico. Somebody last weekend, they were like, well, you know, this person was talking about this other direct sales company, and they were trying to compare, and they were trying to ask me questions. What's different about our direct sales opportunity and their direct sales opportunity? And they're trying to say that some people are saying their direct sales opportunity is good. I said, I'm sure it's good, but let's face it. What is hotter than K-Beauty and K-Movement in the world right now? Think about it. You know, K-Beauty, how many of you, even before Riemann, how many of you heard K-Beauty Korean skincare is big time, it's trending, everybody's talking about it. How many of you guys heard of K-Beauty? Like, what other industry is being talked about as much as Korean skincare and K-Beauty and K-Movement? And here's what's so crazy about this. It's not just K-Beauty, it is a movement of K-Movement. How many of you have watched Squid Game? Anybody watch Squid Game? K-drama. How many of you ever heard of K-drama? How many of you ever heard of K-movie, K-animation? Right? I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters. How many of you have kids? All they want to do is watch and listen to K-pop Demon Hunters. How many of you caught yourself driving and having that music on when your kid was not in the car and you're singing with it because you heard it so many times? Like, you know, you hear, like you're singing this soda pop, like, you know, like you're just singing because you heard it so many times. It is being played everywhere, at the airport, at the restaurant, and you go anywhere, coffee shop, everywhere, at the shopping mall, everywhere they're playing the song. You know, this is a picture of BTS having concert in KL, right here in Malaysia. This is a picture of Blackpink having concert right here in Malaysia. Is K-pop popular right now? Yes. Is K-drama popular right now? Yes. So is K-movie and K-animation popular right now? Even right now, soccer. Anybody like soccer? Football, soccer? Yes. You guys know Son? Yeah. You guys don't know Son? Son just moved from Europe League to LA soccer team. Son, it's crazy. Soon as he got signed to play in MLS in America Soccer, this Korean player, okay, before he started playing, his jersey, his uniform, set a record to be sold most in history of any sport athlete. Sold more than NBA player LeBron James, sold more than Messi, which is the greatest soccer player alive right now. He sold more jersey for LA uniform than Messi before he played the first game. You're like, that's crazy. You know, here's what's so crazy. LA Dodgers, baseball. You guys know LA Dodgers? You heard of the team? Baseball team. They have Otani, baseball team, a Japanese pitcher and home run, incredible, the best baseball player right now. LA Dodgers, soon as Son gets assigned in LA, listen to this. Next week, they bring Son, soccer player, to come do the pitch, the first pitch to start the game. He's a soccer player. But they use this Korean soccer player to do it, and guess what? LA Dodgers, their ticket sales triple more than their regular game. Next week, guess what they do? BTS, after finishing military service, they were in LA making new album. They invite V, which is a member from BTS, to throw the pitch for LA Dodgers game the next week. And when that happens, guess what happens? The LA Dodgers baseball game tickets sold 4 times more because V showed up from BTS to throw one ball. He's not throwing the whole game. He just threw one ball. It was like 1 minute. And 2 days later, they invite Jungkook, JK from BTS, to throw the ball, and 5 times more tickets were sold for a baseball game for LA Dodgers. Why? Because they understand the marketing of K-movement. What does K have anything to do with baseball? Son is not a baseball player. He's a soccer player. What does V and Jungkook and BTS have anything to do with baseball? Just the fact that when you attach it, marketing power is so strong right now. Any of you been to Korea?
Yes.
Korea has their version of like McDonald's called Lotteria. You guys ever heard of Lotteria? Do you guys have Lotteria here? No. Okay. So Lotteria, for the first time, they just opened up their first location in California. 5 minutes from Mr. Steve Hyun's house in California, in Fullerton. Okay. They open up a Lotteria burger place right next to McDonald's and In-N-Out and popular American burger chains. And there's a big billboard. You know what he says? Lotteria advertising. You know what he says? K-Burger. True or not true? It's true. Huge billboard says K-Burger. I saw that, I'm like, when did Korean people make burgers? Burger not Korean food. Burger not Korean food. We eat kimchi. We eat kalbi. We eat bibimbap. You know, we don't eat burger. But 3.5 hour wait. People waiting in line to eat Lotteria K-Burger. It's crazy what's happening with the K-movement right now. And here's what's exciting about what we do. We're not here talking about an opportunity of just the skincare. Skincare is not hot right now. It's K-beauty that's hot. Skincare has been around forever. People are not lining up trying to go get into skincare business. No, people are lining up trying to get into Korean skincare and K-beauty. On TikTok, there's every single month, there's over 44 million searches about K-beauty and Korean skincare. It is one of the most searched keyword there is in the world in any search engine and social media platform is Korean skincare and K-beauty. And what's exciting is, it's the first time it ever happened. It's all connected. You know what that means? It's like BTS is your marketing for your business. Like BTS was promoting, like it brought 5 times more people to watch baseball. McDonald's right now, I don't know about here, McDonald's Happy Meal. You know Happy Meal? McDonald's Happy Meal right now in America, you know what you get as a toy? BTS member figures. It's true. Right now, McDonald's Happy Meal is a BTS member figures. Why? Because they understand leveraging K-movement is the greatest marketing tool in the world right now. Everybody's trying to attach themselves to it. Everybody is. And you're not marketing American skincare. You're not joining an opportunity to market Malaysia skincare. You're not talking about Japanese or French skincare. What are we talking about here? We're talking about K-beauty. We're talking about not just a K-beauty, we're talking about #1 K-beauty brand, which is ICD Skincare. There are thousands of brands that comes from Korea, but there's only one #1. Last 4 years in a row, #1 official Korean skincare that most people use, most talked about, most searched, most loved in Korea is ICD Skincare. And that's your product. That's your opportunity. This is not one of those opportunities. This is not your friend told you about another direct sales company last year. I tried it before. Okay, I'm trying it again. No, this is not even comparing. There's no competition to Rima. ICD Skincare, some people are like, well, but they have good skincare too. They don't have giant Byungpo. We got our own plant. Nobody else could use this plant for 20 years. We got our own smart farm and we grow our own plant. Some of you have already been there. How many of you have already been there? How many of you have been to Jeju? You got to see it. You got to experience it. You got to touch it. Some of you ate it. I heard some of you took few, put it in your pocket and brought it to a restaurant and you made a samba with the Byungpo. I heard. It's crazy. You know, but we have our own plant. Nobody has that. Who has that? Who has their own plant? And it's a plant that all the professionals are saying, this plant is the best in healing skin more than any other single plant ingredient in the world for skincare. Many of the professionals will agree. And we have our water, which is not regular water. It's lava energy water. It is a living water. It's special minerals found in that water. This water is the reason why this is growing 5 times in a perfect environment. And we get to use that water for our skincare when no other company in the world is using a special water like that for skincare. If you and I go down to the store and buy skincare product, it's 80-90% water. Every skincare product is made with 80-90% water. And most of those 90% plus of those products are using regular distilled water, just regular water. Regular water is not going to improve your skin condition. If that's the case, just go take a shower all day. It's not going to have much impact. But we use the plant that nobody else could use, and we use water that's a living water that's got so many special minerals found in that water that is going to enhance your skin condition. That's why every single one of us, as soon as we use the product, after 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, what happened? You go to work, you see friends, you see family. How many of you got compliments from somebody after using the product for less than a week? We all experienced it. You know how rare that is? You know how rare that is that everybody that uses the product gets compliment from somebody in a few days and they see results. You know how rare that is? We're not talking about vitamins. We're not talking about a diet product where 5% of the people that take the product, because it takes discipline, like if we are marketing a diet product, it still takes discipline, which most people don't have. That's why most people use the product and never see results. True or not true? Most people take nutrition product, they don't see results. True or not true? Everybody that uses our product, they see results. Is that rare? It's very rare. And that's what I see the skincare is. We have our own campus. We got our own farm, we got our own water, we got our own lab. Everything's done right there at one campus. You know how special that is? And this is not just a story that you read about or hear about. We invite you, pay for your trip, for you to go experience it and vacation in Jeju Island.
Wow.
How many of you already been there? How many of you want to go? And company build, it's crazy. There is nothing like Riemann out there. We don't have any competition. You got to understand your opportunity. Let's talk about Riemann. Why Riemann? Okay, why K-Beauty? You get it. Why ICD Skincare? You get it. Riemann, the business model of Riemann, where you can make retail commission up to 44 to 54%, where you can make 5 to 30% on your open routine production, where you can make 3 to 5% on your first 6 introduction levels. And you become directors and higher, you make 2, 3, 4% on the middle levels. You become director and higher, you get points towards the revenue share, so you're not just making money on your own team and your own sales, but you get to participate and get a piece of the whole company in the region of Asia. This is coming up, We started in April. May is first month. So May, June, July, August, September, October is the last month. You become a director by end of October. You get to participate in first 6 months. First 6 months of everything that happened in Malaysia. Because revenue share, when we launch a new country, we don't put it in the revenue share pie until month 7. First 6 months gets accumulative, it accumulates. We pile up for first 6 months and put it in month 7 because we want the local leaders to participate in the first revenue share pool. So if you're not director yet, become director by end of October. You become director by October, you're going to be able to participate in this, okay? So this is crazy. You get paid on what happens in Asia. Once you start participating, we're talking about revenue from Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong. We're about to launch Philippines next week. We launch next week, October 1st. Not even next week, 4 days we launch Philippines. We're going to be launching Japan in 2 more weeks. All of that in Asia, outside of Korea, go into the revenue share. You become director and higher, you participate, and you get a little piece of that. How many of you think that's pretty exciting? That you get a piece of what happens in the company outside of your team? How many of you guys think that's exciting? How many of you think that's not exciting? How many of you not thinking right now? You went back to the airplane mode. You're thinking about, is my dog doing okay at home right now? My dog? Yeah. And how about this leadership match thing here? You guys know how crazy this leadership match is? I was talking to leaders in Korea about this 2 days ago. So just think about how crazy this leadership match is. Maybe your confidence isn't there yet that hey, I'm going to be a superstar, I'm going to be like Jackie in the next 6 months. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not saying, hey, I'm going to be like Aki and Janet in the next 9 months. I'm going to get it. Like, maybe your confidence isn't there yet. Maybe your confidence isn't there yet where you're saying, hey, I'm going to be like Chanbin in the next 3 months of time, or, Kevin like in the next 3 months. Maybe you're not there yet. But how many of you could agree, anybody, not just you and me, but anybody, if they consistently keep trying, and if they continue to do the work, and they keep trying and don't give up, eventually, over time, in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of time, how many of you agree anybody could become at least a team leader? How many of you guys agree with that? At least a team, eventually, over time, right? And how many of you also agree that eventually, over time, if someone doesn't give up and keep on keeping on and keep trying and keep doing their best for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of time, how many of you agree eventually, over time, it is possible within their team that they could find one person in their team that will take the business even more serious than them, work even harder than them, and have leadership level even higher than them, and go even more strong and crazy and aggressive about building a big business and think even bigger than them? How many of you think it's possible eventually over time in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years that they may be able to find one person like that in their team? How many of you guys agree with that? Yeah, of course. Even if you don't get lucky, over time of keep doing it, we all agree that's possible. But let's just say that's what happened. You become a team leader, and somebody in your team becomes a team leader or higher, maybe even national director. Whatever commission they earn, you get a 40% bonus. If they make 50,000 Malaysian money, you make 40%, that's 20,000 bonus. If they make 100,000 Malaysian money, you make 40%, 40,000 bonus. Eventually, over time, if they make $1 million, you make 400,000 bonus. How would you feel when you get a 400,000 bonus? How many of you would be mad when you get it? How many of you would be so excited? Yes. How many of you will feel so amazing when you get that bonus? Because it's the most rewarding compensation, because only reason you got it is because that person got $1 million. And they will feel amazing. That person got $1 million, that's the only reason I'm getting 400,000. That person got 100,000, that's the only reason I'm getting 40,000. That person got 10,000, that's the only reason I'm getting 40. That's an incredible feeling, because you're getting something because you help somebody to get something even bigger. How many of you think that's an amazing feeling, to help somebody to win so big, and bigger they win, bigger you win? How many of you like that concept? That's why we love about this leadership match program. Eventually, over time, what if they find a great leader like that in their team? They get to earn their 40, but you get to earn 20 from it too. And over time, eventually, if they find a leader like that, they get to earn their 40, and the person above gets 20, and you also will get 10% of that person's commission. How many of you think it is worth investing time in developing leaders, developing people, and helping them to win big in Riemann business? Because eventually, over time, when they start earning big commission, you're going to get these bonuses. How many of you think it's absolutely worth it to invest in time in developing leaders? Why do I travel around and focus so much on leadership development? Because more they grow, more everybody grows. It's leadership that you invest in that is going to grow. It's not just the product. Product people are going to use. Same company, in this company, somebody's going to make 10,000 ringgit. Somebody's going to make 100,000 ringgit. Somebody's going to make $1 million. The difference is their leadership. And you keep investing in people. You keep investing in people to help them to become a bigger leader. Help them to become a bigger entrepreneur in Riemann Opportunity. Imagine getting leadership match bonus from 100 leaders, 10 leaders, 1,000 leaders in the future. You have a conversation with Mr. Jackie and Mr. Steve Young, who are national directors. They will tell you, largest portion of their commission comes from leadership. Largest portion. Why? Because our compensation is designed for you to help other people to win. That's how you win. So when you spend time with Mr. Steve Young, guess what he focuses on? Leadership development. When you spend time with Mr. Jackie or Mr. Tim Her or Mr. Chris Kim, all the national directors, when you spend time with them, guess what they focus on? Leadership development. And I want you to be passionate about leadership development. I want you to get excited about leadership development. And I want you to focus and start studying more and more and work on you to become a better leader, because this is where your fortune is going to come from. Every single one of you could do it. Every single one of you could become a great leader, and every single one of you could help other people to be great leaders. When I first looked at Remon, and anytime someone asked me personally, hey, they said, how do I become a national director? I said, master the game of duplication. Mr. Steve Young is going to talk more about that later. And whenever I look at a plant, I look at it from top down and reverse engineer. What does that mean? What is the top position in Remon? National director. So when I heard that, I said, how do you become a national director? They told me, you develop 4 teams of directors as leaders. Eventually, the volume will catch up to become a national director. I said, okay. My next question was, how do you become a director then? They said, if you want to become a director, help 3 leaders to become team leaders. And having 3 good team leaders, eventually the volume is going to catch up for you to become a director. I said, okay. I said, my next question, dude, what do you think it was? I said, what is a team leader? They said team leader is identifying and helping 3 leaders to become senior managers and help them to have great business, and eventually you're going to have enough volume to become a team leader. And my next question was, okay, what do you think my next question was? What is a senior manager? And they told me senior manager is simply someone that generates 6,000 SP worth of sales in 3 months of time. Once they explained this to me, once I understood this was game over. Once I understood this, I said, okay, the secret of becoming a national director in Remon is master helping people to become senior managers and master helping them to continue the duplication of helping other people to become senior managers. That's where the leadership comes in. Your leadership is going to determine how many and how fast and how big you're going to help other people to become senior managers. So I tell leaders all the time, our whole business is built on you building a culture and a system of senior manager factory. Every time someone joins your business, you help them. You go on a run with them. You sprint with them to help them to become a senior manager. And that's where your leadership's going to kick in. Your leadership ability to help somebody to sign up in the business, help them become a senior manager in the shortest amount of time possible, and help them to duplicate that in their team multiple times. You help enough people to become senior managers, guarantee you're going to be a team leader. You help enough people to become senior managers, guaranteed you're going to be a director. You help enough people to become senior managers, guaranteed over time, eventually, you're going to become a national director, just like Mr. Steve Young and Mr. Jackie Chan that's sitting up here. The secret in our business is multiplying and duplicating senior managers, and that is going to come from your leadership. And more better leader you become, more effective leader you become, more people you're going to help to become senior manager in a shorter amount of time. Does that make sense to you? So I want you to absolutely master that as you develop leadership. Now, let's talk about Malaysia and Singapore. We talked about YK Beauty. We talked about why ICD Skincare. We talked about why Remon Opportunity. Now let's talk about your market of Malaysia and Singapore. This beautiful Malaysia and Singapore. That's my view right now. That's the view from my hotel room. I'm staying in EQ. That's the view. I absolutely love it here. You guys know this tower?
Yes.
The Capitol Twin Tower. Isn't that so nice? The greatest burger I've ever ate in my life is right here. I think it was right here. It's called the Burger and Lobster. You guys ever been there? Anybody? Oh my gosh, it was so, you don't like it? Aki don't know food, okay? Look at me, I know food, okay? Aki don't know food, okay? Burger and lobster, isn't that good?
Yeah.
That burger with lobster. Important point is, why Malaysia and Singapore? Why Malaysia and Singapore? Malaysia and Singapore is the greatest gateway to all the business markets in Asia. True or not true?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we go Korea. Korea's awesome, but people in Korea only speak Korean. Very little. I mean, yes, Taiwan is a beautiful country, great market, but you go Taiwan, everybody only speak Mandarin Chinese, that's it. But you come to Malaysia, like average people speak like 2, 3, 4 languages. How many of you speak more than 2 languages? How many? Look, oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! How many of you speak more than 3? Oh my gosh! You know, in America, if I ask 4,000 people at convention, how many of you speak 2 languages? There will be 10 people raise their hand. If I say, how many of you speak 3? Like 1 person will raise their hand. Like 90% of you speak 3 languages. How many of you speak more than 4? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Anybody speak 5? Oh my gosh! Half of you speak 5 languages. Unbelievable! Like this is the gateway. You build a team in Malaysia, Singapore, you're gonna be able to build in all the English marketplaces, which includes United States, which includes Philippines, which includes Australia, which includes European, UK market, and so many markets around the world. You speak Mandarin, of course it includes Taiwan, China market, and so many other markets, and so many parts of the world that have huge Chinese communities that speak Mandarin you could communicate with. A lot of you speak Cantonese, and I mean, that's absolutely incredible. You could build here, you could build in Hong Kong, and when you build in those marketplaces, they're going to lead you to other marketplaces. You speak Malay, of course you could work with the incredible local market of Malay. I mean, you have an opportunity, not by your choice. You were maybe born here, maybe you moved here when you were young. Whatever the reason, you're lucky. You're very, very lucky and blessed to be a Malaysian or citizen of Singapore, where you have an opportunity to learn this, develop your leadership, build your success story here. Don't try to build your director's story in Philippines. Don't try to build your director's story in Japan. Build your director's story here. Master the basics of building business here. You live in KL, own this office. Every time doors open, let it be full with your people here. Master the basics of how to build Riemann right here. Master how to do K-pop up right here. Master how to present and orientation and leadership, develop leadership. Master the process of signing somebody up, helping them to become a senior manager right here in your local market. Build such a great example here. When we expand new market, they could fly here and learn from you by watching you build here, and they could go home and copy and duplicate. Instead of you trying to go over there and trying to chase what you don't have here. Does that make sense to you? See, if you could truly build Malaysia, Singapore strong, if you're from Singapore, if you're from Malaysia, you build it strong locally, you're gonna be able to really have the gateway opportunity to expand everywhere if you build your success in Malaysia. Many companies literally come to Malaysia just so they can have access to the rest of Asia. But you live here. This is your hometown. This is your country. And you have an opportunity, in my opinion, bigger than people from Taiwan, bigger than people from Hong Kong, bigger than people from Korea, bigger than people from America, bigger than people from Mexico, where those countries, they only speak one, maximum maybe two languages. This is one of the most unique opportunity, in my opinion, for everybody that's joining Riemann in Malaysia and Singapore. Aren't you proud to be Malaysia, Singapore? Opportunity of Riemann community. Give yourselves big hands. I'm telling you, your opportunity is special. So if I were you, I would build here. And I will make a commitment to make Malaysia the biggest market there is. I would compete with Mexico, even though you haven't met them yet and you haven't seen them yet. Maybe you've never been there, but compete. I mean, I'm the type, I love competition. If I was in Malaysia, who started a week before Mexico, and if I heard that they just had 1,000 people meeting, I know what I'll be thinking. I'm like, next event in Malaysia better be 1,001 people. Right, champion? They had 1,000 in Mexico?